Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon fans. Welcome to another PlaySkape video. And today I've woken up one entire Earth hour earlier to bring you the set list for the upcoming Japanese Silver Lance and Jet Black Poltergeist sets. You may think to me, Stephen, why do I care? Because these cards will be in Chilling Reign, the June, the Sword and Shield 6 set in June, which will be our English set. The vast majority of these cards will be in Sword and Shield 6 Chilling Reign, which comes out, I believe, on June the 19th. So we're very hyped for this. These are the this is the Japanese set lists that will comprise in Chilling Reign, but all of these will be coming. I think the Japanese set will be coming April the 23rd. So if you want to get hold of these arts early, get a hold of some of these cards early, please head to my website PlaySkapeGames.com and check out our Japanese booster boxes. They're still available to pre-order. So Silver Lance and Jet Black Poltergeist to come out on April the 23rd. And the full set list has been revealed. Big shout out once again to the lovely PokeGuardian. Make sure you check them out. Click the link in the description if you want to check out the full set list and see the translation for yourself. Before we jump into the set list, we're just going to have to quickly show you the beautiful special arts Calyrex VMAX and special art Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. So I must say, these look amazing. I'm not as hyped about this as the Celebi, as the Urshifus that we got, because maybe it's probably going to look more like amazing in real life. I think because I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a horse person, but yeah, Calyrex. There's the Frost Rider one. Obviously, both of these will be very popular when the set comes out. There'll be big chase cards, and the Shadow Rider. They're both very strong cards in their own right, anyway. So definitely worth looking out for these, and when you're opening your Chilling Reign booster boxes in June, English versions. So here is the full set list, and well, these are the main cards that will be useful, and the most popular cards that ones will be translated. And there's also a list of all the cards at the bottom of the pictures. So let's just get into it. I haven't looked at barely any of these, so I'm going to be going into these fresh. Only the ones that got announced and revealed earlier, a few days ago. So I'm very happy. I scrolled down a little bit, I must admit, but we're getting my first reaction to many of these. So here we've got Volcanion V. So very hyped to see Volcanion V. Can we zoom in a little bit more? Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Volcanion, it's sort of perfect. Okay, that's fine. Volcanion V looks amazing. I was a huge Volcanion fan when Steam Siege first came out, so I'm really happy to see this, and it's got beautiful artwork. So I'm not too sure about this as a useful tournament card though. Dynamite Tackle, 100 damage, so 3 energies, 2 fire and a colourless. This Pokemon has 10 damage counters on it. It does 150 more damage. So when I first woke up, I briefly saw this and I was like, oh, 10 damage? So 10 damage? Question mark? No, 10 actual damage counters. You need 100 damage on this Volcanion, unfortunately, to do the extra damage. So I'm not sure how you reliably and easily do that. Even though it's a single strike Pokemon, you can use the Houndoom from Battle Styles to power it up. I'm not sure, do damage to it. I'm not sure how you're reliably going to get 10 damage counters on this, unless we get a way to move all of your damage counters from one fire Pokemon to another, but I don't think that will happen. So I'm not too sure about this Volcanion, but it's going to be beautiful. It's not going to be it's not going to be overly strong, I don't think, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. This, oh my goodness. So I expected there would be VMAX versions of Celebi and Sandaconda when we got the special art promo cards that were announced the other day. So Celebi VMAX. So ability, Healing Forest. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from each of your Grass type Pokemon play. Okay, that's pretty nice. I can see potentially this just going as a one. I mean, let's look at the attack first. Max Plant, search your deck for other 2 Pokemon, reveal them, put in your hand. So that's not amazing. That attack's pretty bad, because Marnie is still a Fig, Reset Stamp is still standard legal for a few weeks. So I think maybe you could put like a 1/1 of these in your deck potentially, just for the healing more than anything else. But that Max Plant's not amazing. Against single prize decks, I guess, maybe set up your hand for next turn. But Celebi VMAX, very popular, very beautiful. I'm sure a lot of people will be after this card. And then obviously the big snake. Right, we're back. I had to cough some more. So yeah, Sand Impulse, 60 damage. It does 20 damage to each of your opponent's benchmark. So that's pretty sweet. I like that, you know, you can still do 60 damage. So with Martial Arts Dojo, Vitality Band, other damage modifiers, you can knock out like a Jirachi or any sort of most evolving basic Pokemon with that. So that's pretty cool. And then do a nice bit of spread. So it's a nice setup attack actually. Max Cyclone, 180. Move any number of energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon any way you like. So that I'm not as excited about. So 60 damage is nice for a setup, but then to only do 180 damage for free energy on a VMAX, it's a little bit underwhelming, because you're not two-shotting any other VMAXs other than the ones you're hitting for weakness. So unless you're behind on prizes and you've got the dojo, the martial arts dojo, the stadium from Cosmic Eclipse. Yeah, I'm not overly excited about Sandaconda VMAX, but it does have one thing going for it, and that is the Sandaconda V. You know, it does 220, I think 220 damage for free fighting energy, so it's probably one of the best V Pokemon that we have. So potentially you could make a decent Sandaconda deck, but I think you're probably going to have to play the Colossal, the Stage 2 Colossal that gets the energies, the fighting and the fire energies on it. So it might be a little bit clunky, but I'm sure some people will be testing Sandaconda VMAX. It just looks cool. It's just a big tornado snake. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Oh, Blissey V. Oh my, okay, so I was not expecting this. So Blissey, so a lot of people want this card for their collection anyway. There's lots of fans of Blissey. It's just cute. I love it. So, but what's the ability? So 250 HP. So that's a classic Blissey card. Look at that. That's like Wailord V almost. Wait, Wailord V is 250. Yeah, it's the same as Wailord V. When you attach energy from your hand from this Pokemon, heals special conditions. So that's really good. They can't paralyze lock it. They can't poison it. It's very tanky. And then one colourless energy. Wow. 30 more damage for each energy card attached to this Pokemon, and you may attach up to 3 energy cards for it. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. So this, it's a shame it's a basic, because it worked really well with Cheryl. You could just like Happy Blast, you know, Cheryl, and you just attach more energies and stuff. I don't know. I think I like Wailord V more as a stalling kind of big attacker, because Wailord V can do sort of quite serious damage very, very easily with the Glimwood Tangle. You flip coins, you flip 3 coins, and it's like 90 damage. I think it's 90 or 80 damage for each heads with Wailord V, and you can reflip the coins with the Glimwood Tangle Stadium. But this, you're only really doing like 100, like realistically 130 sometimes. Sometimes you can, you might be able to build up a really big Blissey, but I'm not 100% sure. What I do like about this is that if we get a good deck with energy acceleration, this can be a really nice sort of backup attacker that's not weak to the type, apart from fighting obviously. It's not weak to the type that you're using, and you can put a Cape of Toughness on this, and I think it's Cape of Toughness like 310 HP with Cape of Toughness, so very, very tanky. I'm sure someone might play around with this, but I'm not overly hyped about Blissey V just yet. Metagross V and Metagross VMAX. Oh my goodness, we'll look at the V first very briefly. So Metagross, very popular. So let's hope they didn't do it dirty. And it's a Rapid Strike as well. Let's go. It's a Rapid Strike. So you can use your Octillery to get your Rapid Strike card. You know, your Rapid Strike energy. The new one that provides a rainbow energy for Rapid Strike Pokemon. So it doesn't matter that you can't use the 2 Rapid Strike, the one that gives 2 energies. Flip 2 coins. This does 20 damage for each heads. Meh. Not worth. Meh. Synchro Hammer though. If you're a Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon with the same number of energy, this does 90 more damage. Okay, so you're probably not going to get that to work that often, but potentially an 150 damage for 2 energies is pretty good. This is actually probably one of the worst evolving V Pokemon we've ever had, I think, because Dragapult V was pretty bad. The evolving Dragapult before it became the VMAX. This is pretty bad, but thankfully it's Rapid Strike, so at least you got the Rapid Strike trilogy. Dragapult didn't have that, so the VMAX needs to be good to make up for this card. So this is the first time reading Metagross V. I have no idea what it does. So for 1 energy, search a deck for up to 2 cards and put it in hats. Okay, so that's pretty good. So that's a bit like the Algorithm GX, whatever, the one the Metagross GX, the GX attack it had, but Max Rust for 100. During your next turn, this Max Rust does 150 more damage. Unfortunately, I really do not like this Metagross. I don't know. So you're not doing any damage. If magnetic adhesion, because you know, like Togekiss VMAX, you're doing 120 damage, and you can search. You know, just let us search for one card and do 60 damage with the first attack. Like, just to not do any damage. Like, I don't really like it. What I could see for this though, potentially, guys, is you could make a really cool stalling deck with Metagross VMAX. So you use coating metal energy so you don't get hit for weakness. You use Cheryl, so they use magnetic adhesion to find your crushing hammers. You know, Team Yell grunts your control cards potentially, and yeah, like, you know, just sort of tank and try and win the game like that, because 330 HP is a lot of HP. You know, stick a choice band on it, you got 360, or you can put Stealthy Hood on it, so the Giratina doesn't remove the coating metal energy. You know, so potentially that's one line you could take with Metagross VMAX. So worth considering for that. But as an attacking sort of deck, I'm not sure. Like, I need to look at the rest of the Rapid Strike cards from the set, but oh yeah, because the Rapid Strike energy, I think it stops it from either being poisoned or paralyzed as well, the new one, so that's really helpful with Metagross. We might come back to look at the Metagross once we see the rest of the Rapid Strike cards. A new supporter card, let's go, Caitlyn. So no Cynthia here this time, just Caitlyn. So this full art, there's going to be full art of this Caitlyn, so if you are a waifu collector, if you're a full art collector, you're probably going to need to get yourself Silver Lance if you like the Japanese versions, or Chilling Reign if you like the English versions. Quick reminder, Chilling Reign pre-orders are not up on PlaySkapeGames.com yet. We're waiting for allocations from the store. I don't want to send a single email to tell someone that their orders haven't been fulfilled. So I've never cancelled any orders, but they always get delayed. So I'd rather not do that. So we're going to wait for allocations first. Hopefully late May / early June. So Caitlyn, choose any number of cards from your hand and then put them in any order at the bottom of your deck. And then draw that many cards from top of your deck. So this is like a self Marnie. So you got like a chunky hand. You got like 7-8 cards. You just, I just not one of these cards. You're going to put them all to the bottom of the deck and then draw another. So this is quite interesting. This is a bit more interesting from supporters. A lot of supporters are quite boring. They're quite linear. You know, discard your hand. Like, all they go, just like, yeah. And you can put them in any order you want on the bottom. So there are other cards that play around with that, but yeah, I don't know about Caitlyn, because obviously if your reset stamps to, you know, 1 or 2, or you be Marnie to 4, you're going to be drawing 4 as opposed to Professor's Research, so I'll get you 7, like always. You know, Marnie would then disrupt your opponent back, so I'm not too sure about Caitlyn. So probably post-rotation, once we lose reset stamp, like Marnie to 4 is, and you obviously got your top deck, because you Marnie, so you got 5 cards. You're always going to have 5 in your hand, so you can always get like a fresh 5 minimum most of the time with Caitlyn, so maybe. I'm gonna play around with Caitlyn. I think it's interesting. Agatha, move up to 3 damage counters from the active opponent. Your next opponent. So this is pretty nice, guys. This is pretty nice, I must admit. So obviously it's a supporter. It uses up your support for the turn. I know it's Agatha. That's like the OG Gen 1, like Elite 4, isn't it? Yeah, the Ghost Lady. I remember her. That's pretty cool. Surprised she's getting one now. Like, it's a bit random, but yeah, cool. I like Agatha. So move up to 3 damage counters from your active Pokemon. So this is pretty much like a plus 30 damage. It's like a Leon, but then you don't have to attack with it, and then you're also healing your Pokemon for 30. So in a lot of situations, this could be better than Leon. Obviously, you need damage counters on your Pokemon first. So I don't know how this is going to play in, because also it's a supporter. You can't draw any cards this turn. I'm not overly hyped about this, but there's going to be some combo, and someone definitely is going to be playing around with this, I think. Ooh. Attacks from the Pokemon. Gloves of Justice. Attacks from the Pokemon. This attack should do 30 more damage. I mean, if there is ever a deck that is like 30 damage short of like knocking out Eternatus VMAX, then potentially the gloves could be nice. But even then, we just use the new Galarian Zapdos V from Matchless Fighters. You know, as soon as they put down 3 Crobats, just one, you know, Rainbow or Aurora Energy or whatever, 1-hit knockout, and you're discarding their Weakness Guard energy as well. So yeah, I don't really like the gloves. So it's very similar. So gardening gloves deal 30 more damage to opponent's active grass Pokemon, and then the translator, lovely Antoine Boulet, Toinlay. Finally, grass type's reign of terror is over. Yeah, like grass types were such a problem before. Like that, if you don't know anything about the TCG, grass types aren't an issue, and I have no idea why they print these gloves. Most of these gloves are pretty bad. Like plus 30 damage against just one type. Like most of the time, you'd rather just have Vitality Banders for flat 10, or just play some more Galarian Zigzagoons or whatever. Like these gloves, and also we don't have any reliable ways to search out tool cards. So Goods Mahala's rotating soon. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. Okay, this is more interesting. Draw 2 cards. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon with you. It's one of those trash filler cards, so you're just drawing 4 of their VMAX. Next. But again, Doctor. Could be quite a nice fill art if they decide to go down that route. Frostlass. Ooh, new Frostlass. Let's go. When you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may attach 1 water energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon in play. You'd never play this over Frostmoth, because you're only getting 1 water, whereas Frostmoth you can just spam. Obviously these are coming out from the discard, so I'm not overly excited about this because, you know, there is actually, you know, Frostmoth will rotate next year, next August, in 2022. So potentially, like, when Frostmoth goes, we might need Frostlass, so probably keep like a couple around, but yeah, not excited about that. So this is amazing, guys. We're getting a new Gardevoir card, and there is also a new Curlier, and it does water duplicates. Water duplicates is back, baby. Let's go. So Mirage Steps. Search your deck for up to 3 Curlier and put them onto your bench. So for those that don't remember, in Breakpoint there was a Froakie, Frogadier, and Greninja, and the Frogadier, Frogadier, whatever it's pronounced, allowed you to search your deck for as many Frogadier as you want, up to 3. Obviously, you only got 4 in the deck, a maximum. And then you put them onto your bench and you shuffle your deck, which is really amazing. So you go first, you know, you get a bunch of Froakie down, you try and get at least 2 Froakie down, and then so they can't win, obviously, and then, you know, evolve one of them to the Frogadier, and then you do water duplicates, and you search your deck, and then you realise you've prized 2 of them. That happens so often. But this Curly is great, so we got water duplicates back. I'm glad they brought that back. I'm surprised that they took so long to do like another water duplicates effect. So we'll talk a bit more about the Gardevoir later, and I'm quite excited for that. But yeah, I'm very strong now that we got that. Oh, there's a Glade, so you can choose to evolve into either the Glade or the Gardevoir. What did the Glade do? Not affected by resistance, so that's quite nice. If you're coming up against a fighting weak like an electric deck, you can do, you know, 124 energy if you need to or something. This attack does 60 damage for each year. Guys, this is really good. Oh my goodness. So if there wasn't like more ways to destroy Eternatus, they only need 3 Pokemon V, and then you can just one-shot them with this Glade. But even then, like, let's say a Victini V deck, like, they're going to have 2 Victini Vs, maybe a Crobat, or maybe sometimes, like, you're still doing 180, you're still 2-shotting, like, most VMAXs, most of the time, because they'll have VMAX decks, like, by nature, will have a bunch of Pokemon V down a lot of the time, and, you know, Cricketung V, and Eldegoss V, and all those plus also once Dedenne rotates, so I have to probably play more Crobats. So this is really cool. So you have the option of either evolving into Glade, or please be on this page. Yeah, or in the Gardevoir. So this is actually really amazing. So you got the chance to evolve into a Glade or the Gardevoir. So the Gardevoir is really good. This was revealed the other day. So once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put any number of basic energy cards you find there into your Pokemon any way you like. So it's a bit like Zacian's Intrepid Sword, but for 2 cards, but your turn doesn't end, obviously. That's the big thing about this. And also the energy can go anywhere you want, obviously. So I'm actually looking forward to trying this. So the attack does 60 plus 30 more damage for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. So maybe in combination with Shadow Rider, Calyrex, you can get that powered up quite easily. I mean, we still got so 30 more damage, so that's pretty good. So if you've got 3 psychic energy attached to it, 30, 60, so you're doing 150 base. 1 more energy, you know, you can one-shot psychic weak things. So I'm really excited to try both the Gardevoir and the Glade. And they're not the same Pokemon name, so you can probably play. You're probably going to end up playing like 3 Gardevoir, maybe 2 or 3 Glade, plus maybe some V and VMAX attackers, because I don't think you can build a deck, maybe attacking with just the, which maybe Frogger, Greninja worked quite well. Obviously, we had escape, so we had a rescue stretcher quite quickly, so you could get them back, and the rod was a lot more better than Super Rod was a bit better than ordinary rod, but just for getting Pokemon back and stuff. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to build a deck with just the Gardevoir and Gallade, but you might need one or two other attackers alongside it. But I'm very excited to try these out, and it seems like a really cool combo. I'm really looking forward to giving these guys. Especially now that we got them. This has made it. This has like made it almost viable. Like, it probably still won't be ADP because of but ADP is rotating soon. So standard format rotation. We're probably going to be going team up onwards from August or September onwards of this year. So ADP will be gone finally. So we got here Rough Helmet. Whenever this Pokemon, whenever the attack Pokemon is attached is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, choose an energy, put it into the hand. So this is quite good. This is a nice little control card. They attack with you. They attack into you like they're playing a Turnitus, Dragapult. Any decks that don't run energy acceleration, they're forced to put energy back into their hands. So then, if you're not knocking them out the following turn, you can use Crushing Hammer, you can use Fan of Waves, and then you've got rid of all of their energy, and they probably won't be able to attack next turn if they need 2 or 3 energy to attack with. So I think there are better tool cards, but this is a nice option because obviously only really going to be good against VMAX Pokemon. You should be knocking out most V Pokemon straight back regardless, but this could be good if you see like a lot of VMAX decks potentially. I don't know. Yeah, like more gloves, metal, doing 30 more damage to metal Pokemon, breakthrough gloves, like, why? Ooh, a new Greedent. So we had an old Greedent that was really good at like hit and run type deck, so maybe you can use this one alongside it. Let's have a look. Brazen Tail. Energy attached to your Pokemon in play can't be discarded nor put back into your hand or deck. So this stops Crushing Hammer. This stops Fan of Waves. This stops Team Yell Grunt in Expanded. This stops Enhanced Hammer. So I can see going. A shame that you can't put this in Eternatus, but there's going to be a lot of decks that potentially might put a 1/1 of Greedent in the deck just to stop, that don't want to get screwed over by Crushing Hammers. ADP might be able to squeeze one. The problem is, like, by the time you set this up, like, you've already done your auto creation. Probably hasn't time to put this in ADP at the moment, but it's just so cute as well. Just take a moment to admire how adorable this is. Like, he's taking his Pokeberries back to winter. Like, it's beautiful. Now I can finally stop. It's not hammer time. So yeah, it stops Crushing Hammer. I think this will see play in some capacity, but exactly like which decks they're going at the moment, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Dragapult, because they really hate Crushing Hammers, like Dragapult, Urshifu type decks potentially. If they're playing Pokecom anyway, it might be worth putting in a 1/1 of that. A new Banette. Put up to 7 damage counters on this Pokemon. This attack does 20. So this is like the Frostlass from Unified Minds, one of the tag team sets. So you put up to 7 damages you put up to 7 damage counters on the Banette, and then it does 20 damage for every damage counter you place this way. So it's a single strike Pokemon, so you don't even need to play Psychic Energy in your deck. You can just play the new Rainbow Energy for Rainbow Energy for energy. Just strike energy. Yeah, I don't know. It's we'll find it eventually. So so that's pretty cool. So you can splash this in pretty much any deck, any single strike deck if you want. So let's have a think about this logically. So put up to 7 damage counters. So you can do 140 damage with this, which is pretty good for a stage 1 that you can put in any single strike deck. You can put in any single strike deck, you can put this in there. So if we ever get any issues with psychic weak Pokemon in the future, problem is, once again, that's still only 140 damage to 280 with weakness. So it's not going to be Okoing one-hit knocking out any VMAXs, but this is really good against V decks like Zacian V, just any decks that might just use V Pokemon, just as straightforward attack in the future. So Yeah, I can see Benetzi in play. It's quite nice. Oh, it's Kamoya, and he made a holo. Let's go. I am a huge fan of Kamoya, and I love Porygon. And look at this background. Oh my goodness, this might be our best ever Porygon card. I'm not kidding you. This might actually be our best ever Porygon card. Please leave a comment below if you're watching this. Has there been a better Porygon card? Obviously, I'm a bit biased. I love Kamoya, but yeah, beautiful. Okay, I have to start the Kamoya binder. I'm going to get binders of all my favorite artists. So, glitch translation. When you attach energy from your hand to this Pokemon, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon confused. Unfortunately, this is garbage, so easier for me to get for my collection. We have obviously the Porygon Z. This is just stage 2 as well. So we have the Porygon Z. That's you know, that you can attach as many energies you want. It's used alongside Cramorant VMAX and other decks, Whimsicott and stuff. But there's no reason why you'd play this, because also you're playing this, you're running one less Porygon Z, and maybe in the future, like, the problem is, like, you have to use one of your energy attachments for the turn to get the confusion effect. I'm not sure. I don't like this, but it's a beautiful card. You can tell I'm seeing these for the first time, because I would have not made that reaction if I had seen it before. Quillfish, basic, knocked out from the. It was in the active. It's knocked out. Put 6 damage counters. So Pokédoll, Lily's Pokédoll is rotating soon, guys. So sometimes, like, you know, you're going first. If they're playing against an aggressive deck, you know, you might just, you know, shove a Quillfish in the active and let them, you know, let them pop it. It blows up in their face and they take 6 damage. Maybe it's a single strike as well. So problem is we still don't have ways to search single strike cards. So that's why I love Auxiliary. Like, you can just search for things, but we don't have a way to search for single strike cards yet. So I'm not sure how good this will be, but this could be good against, like, single prize decks like Mad Party. Well, there's better things. We've got the new Spirit Team for Mad Party, so never mind that. So Tuzarina. So this is the last good card from Silver Lance. We're going to be going into the Jet Black Poltergeist next. Well, good. The last interesting one that they wanted to flag up for this set list. So this attack does 50 damage more for each energy in your opponent's active retreat cost. Ooh, so we got now a new version of the Milotic and the Tangrowth. So let's say you've got some Absols out, you've got some Galar Mines, increases the retreat cost by 2. You can actually do quite a substantial amount of damage with this, and because it's colourless, you can just use a Twin Energy. I could see people potentially making a deck around this. It's a bit like Tangrowth, but I think the damage is a bit higher. Yeah, and it's got 148. So obviously it's a stage 2. It might be too slow for the current format, but potentially once ADP rotates, this could be like a really cool. This could be like a really cool kind of like combo and stuff. So yeah. So Silver Lance, here are all the other cards. Most of these probably aren't overly powerful, but we're going to point out another Kamoya. Absolutely gorgeous from the thing there. That's a Sao. Look, you can actually see the fossils in the background. That's so cute. I was going to point out some beautiful art. So, okay, so I had to open up some more tabs to look at the other cards. I might request that he puts in the future, they put all of the translations for, like, the cards on the same page. I'm not sure, but otherwise I might have to use a different website. So Peonia, so choose up to 3 of your prize cards and put them into your hand, then choose that same number of cards from your hand and then add them to your prize cards face down. So that's quite interesting. So we don't have Tau Map anymore. We don't have any ways to kind of, like, interact or search through the prize cards. So this could be really good for, like, Durant decks and decks that rely on, you know, very specific cards and making sure having access to all 4 of a card, like sometimes special energies. This could be, you know, potentially really good for maybe Mad Party decks if they're worried about, you know, prizing certain cards and stuff. So I definitely can see Peony. Peonia will definitely see play. We look at the Gardevoir. Sorry, that was Peonia, and this is Peony. Discard your hand and search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards and put them into your hand. So this could be really good if you, like, need a rare candy plus Pokemon for that turn to potentially take a KO. It's a bit niche, I think. It's gonna be good for control decks just to get the exact 2 cards they need. But again, it uses up your support for your turn, so you really need to be in, like, a desperate situation to discard your entire hand just to get 2 other trainer cards. Maybe if it was find 2 of any cards, that could be potentially really good. Obviously, you can find ball search cards and stuff, you know, as one of your trainers, but you can't find energy with this. So yeah, I'm not too sure about Peony. So moving on, the Lipard. is from Silverlance, the first set we've been looking at. So I think this card looks beautiful. It's not overly a popular Pokemon, but I just really like the artwork on this. Nice Yosida, really like that. Once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand onto your bench, you may discard a Pokemon tool attached to a Pokemon in play. So this is really nice. So this is now a searchable way to discard tool cards. Obviously, decks like Eternatus had Dangerous Drill, Tool Scrapper, but you've got no really way of reliably searching those cards out. So I can see potentially some Eternatus decks wanting to play like maybe one copy of this just to, you know, reliable tool discard. I don't know if other decks will want it. Depends on how strong the tool cards get and like how many tool cards are around. But yeah, Shadow Ripper, you know, 110 damage, put it into back into its hand. Not overly exciting, but that ability you might see play in Eternatus. And there's also a single strike Tauros, which is quite cool. So this does 20 more damage for each damage counter on the Tauros, and then it's now confused. So it's got 130 HP. So if you can do quite a substantial bit of damage on to Tauros if you can get like enough damage counts on it. Maybe this could be used in combination with the Donphan. So you use the Donphan a bunch of times to, you know, do spread damage to your Tauroses on your own bench, and then, you know, potentially do some decent amount of damage with it. So like it's got 6 damage on it. There's 20 more damage for each damage counter. So maths is hard. Like 140, 160 damage for Twin Energy on the basic. That's pretty good. I'm not sure if you can build a very strong deck around this. But also you got like it's a single strike Pokemon, so potentially, you know, plus 20 damage for your single strike energy if you're manually attaching to it. But yeah, looks fun. Looks fun. So there's also the Galarian Slowking and. Yeah, so Galarian Slowking, not overly amazing. Once during your turn, you may choose one of your Pokemon and flip a coin. If heads, heal 90 damage. If tails, put 3 damage counters on it. So this is quite a, you know, a risk reward type of thing. A lot of the time, VMAXs actually are only being one-shotted most of the time anyway. Sorry, two-shotted. So like a deck will do like 180 to like 260 damage from an attack on average a lot of the time, and so you're not one-shotting most VMAX Pokemon. So, you know, you could happily, you know, use the Slowking like, oh, but then you wouldn't be healing any damage if it didn't have any damage on it. Yeah, I'm not 100% about the Slowking, but it looks cool. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. Survival Kit. Look at the top 3 cards. Look at the 3 cards in the bottom of your deck. Rearrange them and put them on top of your deck. So if you'd be Marnied, you know, the cards have gone to the bottom, you might want to put them back to the top, but we got no sort of easy, reliable way to kind of like, you know, draw into 3 cards just straight off the top. You'd have to play this in combination with Supporter. I'm not overly excited about Survival Kit, but yeah, maybe a control deck or something might play around with it. So we got some more cute cards. A beautiful Grookey, the Rapid Strike Grookey. This is from Jet Black Poltergeist. I dare but just point it here because it just lets you call it beautiful. Nice Thwacky. So what I wanted to show you is the look at the Inko stealing the food. That's great. I love it. Some beautiful cards here. These are just all commons. Okay, so Cinderace. This is the reason why I had to tab out. So Cinderace is really cool. So this Pokemon deals 30 more damage to your active Pokemon for each prize card your opponent's already taken. So we've got the busted Cinderace from Sword and Shield. So when it becomes from the base bench to the active, you can attach up to 2 fire energies to it, and it does 190 damage for just 3 energies. So obviously it's a stage 2, but what I like about this one is that you can play it alongside that. Maybe just put one of these as sort of a late game attack potentially. Although, like, you know, you only have to take 2 prizes and you're doing the same amount of damage with this one, but then it's not, the energy isn't, you know, rapidly accelerating. But then you can play this maybe with like 1 or 2 Houndooms, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I like this. But the problem is you can only play 4 Cinderace in your deck, so I'm not sure whether you just put one of these or you go like 2 or 3 of these and one of the others. I'm not sure just yet, but definitely going to be trying more Cinderace, especially it's got like the single strike tag on it. It looks cool. And there's a new Rapid Strike Rillaboom, so potentially you could put one of these in your Rillaboom Grass Box, you know, energy acceleration deck. Just a nice backup attacker, because if you've got a bunch of energy on your deck, you can just discard as many as you want, and then you can do huge damage, like 210, 240, potentially discard all your energies, and, you know, nice sort of backup option potentially for Rillaboom Grass decks. Is pretty cool. And the Lycanroc's pretty pog. So It does 10 more damage for each single strike Pokemon in your discard pile, so, you know, it's very easy to get the 2 energies on this, because we've got the Houndoom to accelerate the energy. It should be very easy to chain attack these and, you know, keep them going over and over again. The only problem is, there is a new Spiritomb that shuffles all of the Pokemon from the deck, from the discard pile back into the deck, and it places damage counters for the amount of Pokemon that it did, so... I'm not too sure how viable this will be, because a lot of people will be playing that Spiritomb to counter Mad Party, and sometimes you might even just struggle to get enough Pokemon in the discard early to 2-shot VMAXs, so you might fall behind. So I'm not sure, but I think people definitely play around with this. And the Malamar is not very good. So reveal any number of Rapid Strike cards in your hand, and it does 40 damage for each card revealed this way. So basically, you need a whole bunch of Rapid Strike Pokemon. You can use Octillery to get an extra one in your hand. You need to build your deck pretty much like 30 odd Rapid Strike cards, maybe 40 odd Rapid Strike cards, just to discard the Tentacles, and then you have to discard 4 cards each turn to be able to 2-shot VMAXs, so like 180 damage. Sorry, 160. Wait, yeah, 160 damage. You need to discard 4 cards every turn just to do 160. You need to get them in your hand, and obviously they're discarding. You don't have them for the following turns. So you need to hope you've got some setup and stuff. So I might play around with this, because it's only 1 Psychic Energy. You can use a new one, but I'm not 100% sure just yet. So Flannery's really good. I like Flannery. So it's a bit like the old... there was a card that allowed you to discard a special energy, like a supporter card. I can't remember what it was. But Flannery is a single strike supporter, so it's really cool. You can use the new single strike item card to shuffle to get single strike Pokemon back supporter card from your discard pile and put it back into your hand, which is really cool. So Flannery, you can get that back with that. So you just choose 1 special energy and a stadium. You can discard both of them. So you can discard like Fan of Waves. Fan of Waves. So you can discard Rapid Strike Energy and a Martial Arts Dojo from a single strike Pokemon, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm excited to potentially play around with this. Just moves 1 or 2 off in the single strike decks anyway, because you're going to be playing the support of the item that lets you get your single strike supporters back. So definitely excited to try this out. Cybold. So heal 60 damage for up to 2 of your Rapid Strike Pokemon. So this is really good, because we got the Octillery, so you can just put 1 copy of Cybold in your deck, and you know, just if you ever need a quick heal, just help with numbers, just, you know, grab Cybold with Octillery. Yeah, definitely like it. Probably put 1 or 2 in some Rapid Strike decks just for the healing option. A new scroll card, a new item card. So fire, colours, can only be attached to single strike Pokemon. It ignores weakness, resistance, and effects. So that's really good. So if you are playing a single strike deck, just put one of these, and you've got, you know, a way to do 120 damage against the Decidueye. Just do a couple of bit of spread damage first from Zigzagoon or something, and then, you know, just finish off the Decidueye, which is really cool. You can 2-shot Zamazenta as long as they're not 1-shotting you, because it ignores weakness, resistance, and any other effects. So that should include Full Metal Wall as well. So yeah, that's pretty good. It just helps, you know, just hit through things that have got some effects on abilities that, you know, that kind of stop your Pokemon from attacking them. So, and this one's quite nice. So this is actually, I really like this one. So it's a shame it's lightning colour, so you can't just attach the old single strike energy. Ideally, you're probably going to need to use the new one, plus have 1 energy attached to your Pokemon already. So this does, so yeah, Spiral Energy. This is Spiral Energy. So this does 50 more damage for every energy on your opponent's active Pokemon. So that's really nice. So there's a lot of Pokemon that need 3 energy to attack. So that's a lot of the time. This is going to do like 160 damage just for 2 energy. But there are some Pokemon that need a lot of energy on them to attack. So there won't be. I don't know how many there'll be. So I'm not sure if this is worth playing over the other scroll. But it's a nice backup option to have. And you know, not all of the Rapid Strike Pokemon have a 2 energy attack. So to be able to do like 160 damage for 2 energies is pretty nice, just to finish off stuff. And there's 2 new special energies for Single Strike and Rapid Strike Pokemon. So for Rapid Strike, it counts as a Rainbow Energy, but it's only you can only attach it to a Rapid Strike Pokemon that has the Rapid Strike tag in the corner. You can't attach this to any other Pokemon. If it does, it gets discarded. Same with the Impact Energy. So It provides every energy. It's one energy of any type, so lightning, fire, water, whatever. And it can't be paralyzed. So if there's any more Pokemon, there isn't that much that paralyzes at the moment. Obviously Raichu and Alolan Raichu's around, but then that's going to rotate soon. Tapu Koko VMAX might be a good electric deck post rotation. So yeah, so potentially that could be, you know, stopping paralysis. Again, you can just if you've got Octillery, you just keep one of these in your deck. Even if you're not using this energy, you're using the other Rapid Strike energies, keep this in your deck. You can Octillery, you get paralyzed. You Octillery for this energy, and you can just remove the paralysis and just attack straight again, which is pretty cool. So you might put like 1 or 2 of these in the Rapid Strike deck alongside the one that uses 2 energies. Also, because, you know, it counts as any energy, you might need it for certain decks that are using like other Rapid Strike Pokemon that are using different energy types. And an Impact Energy. So we're going to have to wait for a Japanese translation. Sorry, for an English translation for this card. Most people are saying that you can't use Houndoom to attach this, which is quite sad, but it's still really cool. It provides one of any energy. So Single Strike Energy is fighting and darkness. So there's other Single Strike. There's fire types. There's other Single Strike types, such as the Cinderace, for example. So this stops Pokemon from poisoning in it. So that's really good. The Weeping Bell poisons the Salazzle deck. The Galarian Slowbro poisons. There's lots of poison effects around, so to be able to stop poisoning is pretty good. So other cards that were revealed earlier, we've got the Shiftry. So I love the attack name on this, Shiftreed Away. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, put all cards attached to it back to your opponent's hand. So you're not taking any prizes. Maybe it could be like a stall or a control deck, but it's a stage 2, so I'm not overly excited about this. Someone might play around with it. Grappaloct is pretty funny. So when this Pokemon is inactive, the retreat cost of their Pokemon is 2 more. So you put down a Galarmine, you put down an Absol, all of a sudden their 1 retreat cost has become like 6 or 7 or whatever. So they're not going to be able to manually retreat their Pokemon, so they need to pray that they have, you know, switching cards, escape rope, scoop up net, like depends on what they're playing. So I can see someone really trying to like make a really like horrible control kind of like stall deck with this, you know, force them to use their switches early. And then you don't really need to have the same amount of cards in their hand because you're just going to be keeping them in the active and, you know, denying their energy and stuff. But 160 damage, you know, potentially, or 80 damage. The problem is it's free energy. It's going to be quite hard to power up, but I think it's going to be more of a control deck, so we'll definitely see people play around with that potentially. Well, not say definitely, but maybe. So Rapid Strike Weevil is pretty cool, water type. So again, you can use the you can use Rapid Strike energy, but you can also search out for the new energy as well. During your next turn, if the defending Pokemon is damaged by a Rapid Strike Pokemon, it'll be knocked out. So maybe you might be able to shove in a 1/1 line of this Weevil and Sneasel in your Rapid Strike deck. You come up against the VMAX. You know, you put down the Sneasel turn 1, turn 2, you evolve into this, and just, you know, they got a big VMAX out. You can just knock them out with something else next. But I'm not overly excited about Weaver. I think it's a bit too slow. And then Hypno is bad. So your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition. You know, you're just doing 120 damage for 1 energy basically. If you can put a special condition, and then it removes the special condition. Yeah, no, it's not good. No good Hypno. Zarude is not very great. So go in seconds. If you choose to go second, it's a bit like the old Volcanion. If you go in seconds, you can search for up to 3 grass types and add them to your hand. But why not just play Eldegoss and then put, you know, your Grookey's and stuff on your bench? Like, I don't know. But it's a nice backup attacker, single prize. You know, you can do 120, 140 damage potentially. If, you know, got a bunch of grass energies on here. So nice backup attacker. Press is beautiful artwork. It's probably the nicest Zarude artwork we've had so far. And the fireproof gloves, like those crappy gloves we saw earlier. It just you know, you deal 30 more damage to fire type Pokemon. Meh. So there's a really cool Lapras. So search your deck for up to 2 Melanie. Well, it's not really overly cool, but it's cool because there's Melanie in the background. So maybe we'll probably get like a full art Melanie in this set. That'd be quite cool for the full art supporter collectors. Icy Wind, yep, nothing for that. So search it. Yeah, it's not great. So the Gengar's, I like the Gengar. So when this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, search your deck for any 2 cards and then put them into your hand. So this is pretty nice. Like so the pain burst is like another good thing. So you do 40 more damage counter for on your opponent's active Pokemon. So you probably play this alongside Galarian Zigzagoon. Maybe you know you're going to be playing Rare Candy anyway. So maybe you put in like like a 4-0-2 or 4-0-1 of Galarian Zigzagoon to do extra damage counters to them. You do find other ways to spread damage to them for early on, and then you're doing quite a reasonable amount of damage for because the problem is it's free energies, so you're going to have to. We got triple acceleration energy for now, but maybe in the future you might need the Shadow Rider Calyrex to to get the energies on it. But I kind of like this because also you can search when it's knocked out, you can search your deck. So like down to like 3 or 2 prize, you can just search for the reset stamp and the next attack for the next turn, or a Marnie or a supporter of some description, or I kind of like this Gengar. It might be a bit slow for the current format, especially with ADP around, but I think going forward this might be a viable like 2 prize deck potentially with. Maybe with Shadow Rider Calyrex, obviously you can have got a backup attacker. You can accelerate energy and draw cards that way. Like I kind of like the idea of this Gengar. Definitely I might give it a go online. So these are the special promos that are given out when you buy a box of in Japan, only from very specific stores. You cannot order I've had so many questions. You cannot order these boxes directly from the Pokemon Center Japan, or I don't think they'll be given out for Amazon Japan as well. So the best bet is just to buy the promo separately. But these are absolutely gorgeous. They are going to be very hyped. I'm trying to get a couple of the Celebis myself, and Celebi V and new Sandaconda V. So this Leaf Dance is actually better than the VMAX like attack. So you're actually attaching grass energies from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. So it's going to be quite hard. It's a beautiful Celebi as well. It's going to be quite hard to get. It's going to be quite hard to get like a bunch of grass energies in your hand, but it's a nice option to have maybe late game if you're struggling for energy. And Sandaconda V, so I much prefer the other one that does 220 damage, but this is a bit more tanky. So this takes 30 less damage from attacks with the Sand Barricades. So you could do 140 damage, but I like the old Sandaconda V a lot better if you're going to play with Sandaconda VMAX. And then Chilling Reign was officially revealed. The Japanese set, so the English set. I don't know why this tab was open, and the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAXs. So we'll have a quick look at these because they're here now. We've got the special ones. So I'm really excited for these. These are going to be strong decks. I think they're going to be big archetypes potentially going forward. Unfortunately, the Ice Rider is weak to water. So Ice Rider Calyrex, it does 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, so you're doing 160 damage for a full bench for 2 energy. It's pretty decent, but most of the time you will be using the Max Lance attack. You may discard up to 2 energy from this Pokemon. It does 120 more damage for every energy you discard. So yes, you read that right, guys. You are doing 250 damage just for 2 water energy. So you don't even need to play Frostmoth. You just attach manually, and then you've got the new Melanie supporter. You can do a water energy from your discard pile to one of your water Pokemon and then draw like 2 or 3 cards, whatever it is. So you don't have to worry about like playing Frostmoth in this deck. I'm kind of excited to try this out. It seems like a really strong water archetype potentially. Might make water tier 1 at last. It's been a while since we've had a tier 1 water deck. I think just after Rebel Clash came out and Teleon had quite a high like 1.5 tier 2 placing, but the Shadow Rider Calyrex is very good as well. So it's got an ability. You may just attach an energy, psychic energy, from your hand to one of your bench psychic Pokemon and then draw 2 cards. This is really good because you're drawing cards. Any ability that draws you cards is good, but then you're accelerating energy as well, which is really good. So I can see some decks might want to play just like 3-3, maybe 4-4 of this, just so you can get a bunch out early and then you get the energy flowing. You can do as many as you want each turn. So really good for Dragapult. Really good for any other kind of psychic energy decks that need a lot of energies, potentially like that Gengar we were talking about. And the attack itself is not very good, so 30 more damage for each psychic energy attached to all your Pokemon in play. You need a lot of energy in play to get anywhere near like the same amount of damage as like the Ice Rider can just do for 2 on its own. But late game, if you've managed to put a lot of energy or psychic energy around, you could do a decent amount of damage. You've got 10 energy, you've got 10 psychic energy on your bet. It's not going to happen, but you've got 10 psychic energy in play. you can do 100. You can do 310 damage. So potentially got that. So let's go back to the set list. So I just wanted to point out any other kind of like other cool cards we missed. So 1 second.
Day 2.
Right, so we're back. So I confused myself. The older revealed cards were at the bottom. I thought they were split into sets. The older revealed cards were at the bottom, and the new ones that had just been revealed were up here. So yeah, silly me. So if you are as a whole, like, it depends on what fans of Pokemon you are, but I would think that I quite like. They're both really strong sort of sets, but I think because like the Glade, the Gardevoir stuff, the Ice Rider Calyrex is in, maybe Sandaconda V. I think I'd probably prefer Silver Lance over Jet Black Poltergeist. But the Gengars and Jet Black Poltergeist, Shadow Rider, the Metagross. Not really a fan of the Metagross, but yeah, I think as for a player perspective, if you're a Japanese player, Silver Lance is better. But obviously both of these sets are going to be in Chilling Reign, so let's try and finish this like sooner than later. So we talked about the Calyraxes earlier. The V and the V, the basic Vs aren't that amazing, so there's not really much. You just need to get them out quickly to try and evolve them into the VMAXs. The good thing is their retreat cost of 2, so you can put air balloons on them. So Zeraora is getting a new V Pokemon. I quite like this. It's a nice backup attacker. So if any of your other Rapid Strike Pokemon an attack you use this last turn, this does 100. Actually, no, this is a really good card. So 160 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So this is quite nice. So you attach a Lightning Energy potentially to it early, and then later on, Lightning Energy or the new Rapid Strike Energy. You then next turn you attack with a different Rapid Strike Pokemon with the Rapid Strike Energy that provides 2 energy, and then the next turn you do 100 damage of this, and then 160 snipe to one of their bench Pokemon, which is really nice. So it can knock out the Dene if they're not playing the Mew. Yeah, I quite like this. I don't know how we get this to work with the decks that we have now, but there are a lot of other Rapid Strike Pokemon coming out in this set. And the other one, I really like the Zeraora, and it's probably one of the nicest Zeraora arts we've had. This is what I like to see from Zeraora, like a big lightning claw kind of, cross fist. There we go, cross fist. Like, yeah, I really like Zeraora. I think it might see play, but I'm not sure what deck it's going to fit in right now. Maybe a one-off potentially in the Rapid Strike Urshifu deck, but I don't know how you get free energy on it reliably when you're trying to still power up your Urshifus. So I'm not sure. Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX has got a bench attack anyway, so yeah, probably don't see how it goes. So there is a Tornadus V and VMAX. Tornadus V, 180 damage is nice, I guess, but it's very hard to get 4 energies on it. Once again, it's very difficult to get 4 energies on the VMAX. You can use triple acceleration energy. You can make a deck with Houndoom potentially. So with like maybe you can put a 1/1 of this in the existing single strike Urshifu deck, because 240, it's gonna ramp up with the Houndoom, the single strike energies, and you've got a different weakness. So you're weak to electric instead of being weak to psychic, which might be a problem sometimes with the new psychic Pokemon coming out. So potentially you could stick a 1/1 of Tornadus VMAX in your your single strike Urshifu deck potentially. 240 damage, and it ramps up. Yeah, we talked about the Calyrex VMAX and the Ice Rider. Very strong cards. These are probably going to be like the big ones that players will want for their decks, or going forward just from off a glance from the obvious stuff. So there is actually 2 different versions. There's a promo version and a regular version of the regular Shadow Rider Calyrex V. The promo, there's an alternate art promo in the big jumbo pack in Japan, but probably one of these arts, either this one or the one we looked at earlier, these ones, one of those arts of the Shadow and Ice Rider, they'll be probably in a promo box or a tin. So this one is probably a lot better than the other V. So this is really quite nice. So they cut 10 damage. If you end up going second, just do 10 damage, and they can't play any special energy. So if they're like a Rapid Strike or a single strike deck, you might be able to screw them over potentially. Or they can use Houndoom still to get the energy straight out, but maybe the Rapid Strike, might slow them down a little bit. And I like this. I'm not sure you're going to get 3 energies on it reliably, but You know, you can do 5 damage counters on 2 different Pokemon. So late game, like you could just power this up quickly with your Calyrex VMAXs, Shadow Calyrex VMAXs, and then use it to finish off something on the bench potentially. Take surprises, could be nice. And then this one is a bit nicer than the other one because it can do 200 damage and it's a V and it only gives up 2 prices, but you have to get 3 energies on it. But you can use the new Melanie supporter to do that. It's pretty cool. So we talked about Celebi, Sandacon, the Lipard. The new fish. I quite like the new fish, Arctovish. Let's just take a moment to admire how like derpy this is. These fossil fish. People love them. I don't like them, but people love these fossil fishes. If the depending Pokemon is a Pokemon V or GX specifically, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. So they can obviously potentially play around by attacking with non-V Pokemon. You need non-V Pokemon, obviously. This might be quite annoying to deal with, but bear in mind we've also got Phoebe, so you can, if you're playing a VMAX deck, you can use Phoebe and just hit through this. So I do like this as a one-off in like any decks that play maybe Melanie or Frostmoth potentially just as a backup attacker. Because then also it does 220 as a backup, so potentially like you could just even make a strong Arctovish V deck and use Frostmoth to just power it up and just do 220, swap it out and just keep smashing or walling with stuff. So I quite like this as an archetype on its own potentially. This might even be almost as strong as the Ice Rider Calyrex because they're only giving up 2 prizes of regular V and 220 good. Electric weakness kind of sucks at the moment because there's still a lot of Pichu Zekrom around, but there isn't that many good apart from maybe Coco VMAX. There aren't going to be that many electric decks post rotations. So yeah, Arctovish V is quite nice. Nice little water attacker, I think. So we've got the cast form decks. So this is like the we've got another new Sal card, beautiful artwork here. So these cast form cards, guys, are there's a new clay one more as well. So these are like the Rotom cards, but instead you need stadium cards. If you've got 8 or more stadium cards in your discard pile, you can ignore all the energy requirements on these attacks. So 80 damage and draw 6. 20 spread to everything. 120 damage and 150 damage. So you got to discard stadium. So I'm not sure how viable these are because how the hell are we going to get 8 stadiums from our hand into our discard pile without playing a whole bunch of stadiums? We don't have battle compressor in standard format. We don't have back then, but when we were playing the Rotom deck, you had a venturing bag to get the tool cards out. So what we need is an item card that lets you search your deck for 3 stadiums or something silly like that. But I don't think these are going to be played that much, but they're cute. I like them. And this is the new busted trainer card that everyone will need. So both players' Pokemon in play with a rule box have no abilities. Stops Crobat, stops Cricketung, stops Eldegoss V. It stops everything. It just is a busted card. It's a much better version of Power Plant because it's all rule box Pokemon. It's GX and EX Pokemon. So this stops Jirachi. Sorry, not Jirachi. It stops Prism Pokemon. It stops Tapu Koko Prism whilst it's still standard. Any other Pokemon that have the rule box sort of around the box at the bottom that says this Pokemon has a rule, and I'm trying to desperately find a rule Pokemon. Just any Pokemon that has an extra ruling text at the bottom, like this Persian GX in Japanese, like any Pokemon like that. So a very strong card. If you are playing a deck with a lot of abilities, you need to be playing some Chaotic Swells until rotation because there's going to be a lot of this around. I'm going to potentially put some of these in my Dragapult decks. I don't know what, because the problem is, you can't play your own abilities, so you're going to have to build up your deck with potentially a lot of supporter cards, a lot of item cards that let you search and maybe just draw extras. I don't know, but it's very strong stadium. Make sure you pick up 4 copies of this if you're a player, because I think these will be seen a lot of play. Whenever a player, it's a new cemetery card, old cemetery, it's not a new one. Whenever a player attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their Pokemon, excluding psychic types, you put 2 damage counters on them. So this is quite a nice little stadium just for psychic decks, because there isn't really any good stadiums for psychic Pokemon at the moment. So just stick this in, you could get an extra 20-40 damage of it, especially like they're using Welder to attach loads of energies from their hand. You counter their giant half, they're forced to just accept damage. So I quite like this. I don't think it's going to be overly strong compared to potentially just using Path to the Peak to stop them from using their abilities and stuff. But it's a nice option, especially for single prize, decks like the Gengar we were talking about earlier. Potentially, it could be nice. And yet, Melanie is the new busted Welder. Unfortunately, it's a more balanced version of Welder because unfortunately, Welder was not balanced for the and it saw a lot of play, and Welder was a very strong card. But Melanie is a lot more balanced, so you attach one water energy, not two, one balanced from your discard pile to one of your V Pokemon, and only a V, so you can't power up a baby like, you know, baby water Pokemon, and then you draw 3 cards. So very nice. It's just a nice little consistency booster. This Melanie means that you do not need to play Frostmoth with the Water Rider Calyrex, the Ice Rider Calyrex. You just literally play Melanie, you attach an energy from your hand, and you use Melanie. You know, because the great thing is you don't need to keep searching for energy, so you don't even need to play Capacious Buckets. You can just... We might need to play 1 or 2 buckets, maybe to get energies out early. It depends on the energy count in your deck, but you got energy spinners, just play energy spinners. Actually, why would you play energy spinners when you have Capacious Bucket? But you know what I mean. So you just need to discard a couple of water energies early, use Melanie, and just keep rolling. It's really good. It's going to be used in a lot of water decks. There will still be Frostmoth decks around, so don't ditch the Frostmoths yet, because there's a lot of water Pokemon that still need 3 or more energy to attack with, such as Wailord, Wailord V, and various other things. So I'm quite excited to play around with Melanie. It's going to be definitely needed for that Ice Rider Calyrex deck, and maybe some other water decks going forward. So finally, there's a lot of good love for Psychic in this set. Search your deck for either a Psychic Pokemon, Basic Pokemon, or Psychic Energy, and put them into your hand. So this is a bit like the Netball, but for Psychic Pokemon. It's a Fog Crystal. Very strong. Going to be using it probably in Dragapult. I used to play like Energy Spinners. I'll just put like a couple of these, and you know, maybe reduce some of the other stuff. Just to keep the 4 quick balls, put a couple of Fog Crystals in Dragapult. Obviously, you might want to play these in the Calyrex deck as well, because you get the Psychic Energy and you can attach it with the ability. 4 Fog Crystals probably defaulting the Shadow Rider Calyrex deck, and probably 3 to 4, like 2 to 3 to 4 in other Psychic decks. A very strong card. It's going to be used in a lot of Psychic decks going forward. It's about time we got a bit more support for Psychic, to be honest. Speaking of Psychic support, the new Cresselia is a bit like the Volcanion again. If you're going second, you lose the coin toss, you go second, or you choose to go second, you can search your deck for up to 3 Psychic Energies and attach them to one of your Psychic Pokemon. I don't like the fact, unlike Volcanion, that Volcanion you can put the Fire Energies anywhere you wanted. You're forced to put all the Psychic Energies to one Pokemon. I'm not sure if this is an intentional design point. Maybe Volcanion was a bit too strong for their liking. I don't know, but Photon Laser is also a slightly worse version than the Volcanion. So Volcanion, you only needed 4 energies in play to do 110 damage with the extra attack, and it was like, you know, it was 50 plus. It was 50 plus 60, where this is 30 plus 90. You need 5 Psychic Energies, but I can see definitely a one-off. I don't think you're going to be revolving your strategy around going second and using Cresselia. I don't think. It might be strong enough to get the 3 energies out early to do that, but because you're attaching energies anyway with the Calyrex VMAX, I think you just put this as a one-off. It's a nice backup attacker. You know, you do 120 to finish stuff off as well, and if you end up going second, you can use the option to use the Crescent Grow, but I think it's just better to just evolve your Calyraxes up quicker. You could also use this in Psychic Mewtwo, guys. Go second and, you know, attach 3 Psychic Energies to your Mewtwo GX on your bench, so that could be quite nice. It's definitely going to see play. I think Cresselia will see play. So this isn't amazing, but it's really cute. Look at the artwork on this. You got more Kecleons in the background. I love Pokemon with other Pokemon in the background. So palette swap. If it's the same type as all basic energy attached to it, so if it's got like water, colorless, water, electric, and fire, and it's all of those types. But yeah, you can hit stuff for weakness. So potentially you could put one of these in maybe a Calyrex deck. Does the Calyrex VMAX? So I just need to check something very quick just for my own sanity. Okay, it's only Psychic Pokemon, but if you put 1 Psychic Energy on the Kecleon first, then obviously Kecleon will be a Psychic Pokemon, so that's pretty cool. So then you can do like 90 damage. It's a nice sort of backup attacker. I think obviously Cresselia is a better backup attacker for Psychic decks, but in other decks that run energy acceleration, you know, you can just do your, you know, 90 damage. Basic energy. So it doesn't work with that new Rapid Strike energy that accounts as all the colours. That'd be quite cool. But someone might make this work. Like, not as a deck. It definitely can't be a deck on its own. That's impossible. But maybe it can, because you can use Energy Spinner. For now, we've got Viridian Forest to get the energies out of your deck. So, you know, just make a crazy, like, hit all for weakness deck, and you're doing 180 damage against most most weaknesses potentially. So yeah, someone might make a really fun MacLeod deck, and you can use it with Octillery to, you know, search out for your Rapid Strike supporters and stuff. So we looked at Lapras, we looked at Gengar, looked at all these. Rabombi, moving energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon could be a nice like control option. It's got a free retreat cost as well. So you've got 70 HP though, so I'm not sure about that. Lucky Energy provides one colourless energy, and when it's knocked out, you may draw a card. It's a beautiful energy, and it's probably going to have a beautiful gold card. But draw energy didn't see barely any play, so I don't know why Lucky Energy would. If it drew 2 cards, like potentially, but no. So a Bomber Snow is really good. I really like the Bomber Snow. It's going to be good for single strike decks. I think I'm going to play at least one of them. So toughen up. All of your single strike Pokemon get plus 50 HP apart from the Bomber Snow itself. So that's really nice. You can't. It doesn't stack, but you know your Primeape can be 180. It makes it a bit more tankier against other single prize decks. 180, 170, however much HP Primeape has. Your single strike Urshifu now has 380 damage. The only problem is you kind of need your bench spaces for your Houndooms, your drawing Pokemon. So I'm not sure in that specific deck, the single strike Urshifu VMAX, whether you can afford to, you know, spend the bench space on the Bomber Snow. But yeah, I think in some of the single prize decks potentially, and maybe some of the other single strike decks that have a bit more bench space that don't rely as much as Houndoom, because you need a lot of energies for single strike Urshifu. But it's I really like it. And we talked about Shiftry, it's bad. We talked about Grapploct. I think we're at the end now, guys. We talked about these cards earlier, so I do apologise for Primal Lugia if he is watching. All the relevant cards were on the same page. Just I scrolled past them. Oh look, Grookey and Thwacky. There's 2 images there. So yeah, this is the. Oh yeah, and I've got to talk briefly about Galarian Weezing. We didn't talk about that either. That's a really strong card. So any basic Darkness energy attached to your Pokemon in play with Weezing in their name provide 2 energies. So Galarian Weezing or Weezing, and in the future we get a Weezing V that will also count. So this is really cool. So it's a stage 1, and then this Weezing does 20 more damage for every Darkness energy attached to all your Pokemon in play. So this is really nice. So any Darkness energy either on any Darkness energy anywhere will provide this Weezing with an extra 2 Darkness energy in terms of the attack. So you got to use Galarian Moltres V, then use Galarian Moltres to get energy out of your discard. Or Galarian Moltres V will also be in Chilling Reign, as well as the Galarian Zapdos we talked about earlier. Use Galarian Moltres V. You can get 1 Darkness energy out of your discard pile every turn and attach it to it. And then you're attaching Darkness energy from your hand to this. You only need to attach 1, because the Galarian Weezing, you can play 4 of these and 4 Galarian Weezing. Obviously, you can only play 4 Coughing, which might be a problem, but yeah, it's probably going to be a problem actually. Yeah, so you probably like play maybe 3 of these and potentially 2 or 3 of these, but because you can actually, you know, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough, but it can do a decent amount of damage. It might be a nice little maybe a backup attacker for, you know, Dark Box. I don't know whether you can build a deck around it, but it looks really cool. And I like the artwork on this Weezing as well. And yeah, Coffin. There's a Coffin that also evolves to Galarian Weezing or Weezing. So you go second. You can use that one that stops abilities. So you might play maybe two copies of this one, and then one of the ability stopping one. Problem is then you're not using the effects. I don't know how that works. A Talonflame. It's beautiful, but it's a bit slow. Just does 160 damage. Stage 2. It's Gardevoir's really strong with the Glade. We talked about that. We talked about Peony and Peony. Zebstrika and Blitzel are really nice. So beautiful artwork on these as well. So if any of you have a Rapid Strike, it's a bit like the Zebstrika. If any of you have a Rapid Strike Pokemon use an attack during the previous turn, this attack does 90 more damage. So you don't need to play Electric Energy. You can just put this as a 1/1 in any Rapid Strike deck, even Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX if you want to, and then you're doing 120 damage. It's a nice backup attacker for 1 energy. It's pretty nice. And you've got a beautiful Blitzel. Beautiful Blitzel going to it. So that's all of the cards from the Chilling Reign, guys. That's the Silver Lance and Jet Black Poltergeist. 95 to 99% of these cards will be in our you know, will be in our Chilling Rain set, which comes out Chilling Rain, which comes out on June the 19th. Remember, we're going to be doing pre-orders for Chilling Rain. Once we have our allocations, please go to our Discord server, click the link below. You know, check out our Discord server, check out our Facebook page. We always post like there when pre-orders come up. So very excited to get hold of these. Please leave a comment below. What cards are you most excited, you know, to get hold of? You know, there's some beautiful, you know, new cards coming out of VMAX. There's some strong, really strong cards coming out, like the Ice Rider Calyrex. Please leave a comment below. What are your favourite cards from these sets? Which ones are you looking forward to getting in English? Are you looking forward to seeing the, you know, the full art gold cards and the secret rares, which will be probably revealed next week for these sets? I'd love to know your thoughts. And yes, please remember to leave a comment below, like the button, subscribe to the video, and I will see you very soon, Pokemon fans. Gotta catch them all. A huge thank you to our lovely patrons. They get exclusive videos, market updates, Q&As with me, and much more besides. Click the link below to join the PlaySkape Games Patreon, and I will see you very soon, Pokemon fans. Gotta catch them all.